This is for you, Kings fans, wherever you may be. All the frustration and disappointment of the past is gone. The 45-year drought is over. The Los Angeles Kings are indeed the kings of the National Hockey League. They are the 2012 Stanley Cup champions.
Whoa, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another post-game live here on Dime Dropper. Before we get started, you already know the drill. Make sure to subscribe on YouTube at Dime Dropper. And, of course, you can follow and listen on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And, of course, follow your boy on Twitter and Instagram at Dime Dropper Pod. So, tonight, what a special episode we have in store. Very late night episode. Appreciate everybody that's listening in the morning, which will be the majority, and the people that are actually in the live tonight. But wow, what an experience, first off. And before I actually get into it, I want to say the last time I did a live and did an episode on this channel, I actually don't think I posted the 18-minute rage fest that I had when we signed Harden the night of. And like, I have to admit to you guys, when I make those videos, like the emotions are really, really high. So like, it's not like I wouldn't do that professionally, but I have the ability here in this platform that you guys have kind of shown me that you like when I just let it out. And it's great just, and you know, at the end of the day, I'm keeping receipts on myself, like how my opinions evolve. And this is what I really want to address before I actually get into this game. I'm not like a guy that's mad about being wrong when it comes to predictions. Like, I don't think guys making predictions, I know you can make a lot of money doing that, but I don't think that fully shows how much you know about basketball. I respect somebody who can tell me and address what went well and what didn't go well in a game than somebody guessing. Like, I'll give an example. Like, I know some people don't think Charles Barkley is that smart, but he actually does know a lot about basketball. He may not be as savvy with the modern game as some analysts that have recently played in more of the schemes you see today, but he still knows ball. He sucks at predictions, though. Like, let me just say this, man. You might think that I'm more in tune, I'm better to listen to than anybody on TNT, right? But I don't know anything like about basketball compared to those guys. Like, they played professionally. It's a lot of talking about the modern game is just like watching games, like straight up. Like, you can just tell Shaq in the regular season does not watch games, but like, do I know more about X's and O's and like schemes and what it takes to be a great basketball player and a great team than Shaquille O'Neal? Like, who are we kidding here? But anyway, yeah, Kyle, sorry. I'm only going to talk the Clippers today because I haven't really watched any other games. I watched Warriors and Pelicans, but we're a little far removed from that. I watched Milwaukee and Miami, a little far removed from that. So this episode is not going to be that long. I didn't even get to watch the Lakers Magic and Lakers or Miami. So I'm just going to be talking about the Clippers tonight. And it's really, this video should be only about this. I mean, this is a big deal. So before I get into it, I wanted to say there's been this narrative that has been pushed by people on social media based on some of the comments I've made and the emotions in my tweets. I think you need to understand I troll a lot on Twitter. Like, this is where I really give my thoughts, especially Locked On Clippers is where I really give my calculated thoughts, which you got to subscribe to, by the way. People have come up with this narrative that I am like rooting for the Clippers to lose badly. Like, I want to make it very clear. Like, this is what my week looks like, right? I have my day job. I'm not going to say what that is, but I have a day job, right? Like everybody else. I do Locked On Clippers 5 days a week. In addition to my platform that I try to go live for every Laker Clipper game as much as I can. I have season tickets. Now I've invested my money into this team. I've invested money into them for 19 years and my family has done the same. But I invest money into this team, money at the parking, money at the arena for food and beer. And I sit in a section that stands up every single game. The whole game. Like making noise the whole time. And then I come back home at like 11:30, 12 o'clock and still do the episode, try to get out in the morning. Sometimes I'm up editing to like 3 or 4 in the morning. And you really think I would root for the Clippers to lose because of my distaste for one player? Like, have you guys not learned anything about me the last 3 years? Like, do you know how much I care about this team? Like, I care about this team too much. Like, I need to stop caring so much. That's the reality of it. Rooting for their downfall. shame on you, man. Like, really shame on you. I would be spamming, but I'm just like so tired. I just got off a plane. I'm so tired. But let's get right into it, man. Just fuck you guys. Like, let's be real. Anyone saying that for real, fuck you. Like, if you want to, if you want to say I don't know ball because I don't like Harden, look, when the Intuit Dome courts, I challenge anybody to play me one-on-one outside, record it for everybody to see. Especially those people that don't show their face on Twitter. You play me one-on-one. If you beat me, I respect you, shake your hand like a man. But beat me. Show your face first. Let's see what kind of balls you really got. Because that's the thing. Everybody I actually meet in real life, all my Clipper fans, everybody, you guys are. I love making relationships with people like that. That's what this is all about to me. Talking ball, learning about ball, making relationships with people. And so I appreciate everybody. Let's get into it. James Harden. Wow, 31 people at 1 a.m. If you're joining from around the world, shout out to you as well. James Harden on the Clippers. Let me just say, watching the starting lineup walk out together was so surreal. Like, I've had this moment with Kawhi's first game. I had the moment with Paul George played his first game at New Orleans when they both played their first game together against the Boston Celtics. And then Russell Westbrook's first game against Sacramento last year. Amazing vlog, by the way, on this channel. This is crazy too. Like, no matter okay, so what? I don't like Harden the way he plays basketball, but this guy, this is James Harden. Like, this man used to rip us apart in games. This guy is one of the best players of his era, one of the best top 75 to do it. And I have no problem with his induction to the top 75. Like, emotions removed. I have no problem. He should be top 75 of what he's accomplished. Bro could have won MVP like 4 times. So to just have all these guys on the Clippers is insane. Like, this really feels like a super team. My cousin's really saying, I'll meet you at the Intuit court. Come on, buddy. That's family right there. Anyway, doesn't apply. James Harden started out this game, and he was buying in. He on the first possession, I saw him getting into his defender. So starting the game, it was James Harden guarding Quentin Grimes, Zoo obviously on Mitchell Robinson, Kawhi guarding Randu, as my boy All Ball would say, and then PG was guarding RJ Barrett. And then Russ guarding Brunson, and we're switching 1 through 4. James was doing decent defensively. I think we were swarming pretty well in the first quarter. But offensively, it was exactly what I said it was going to be. And it's going to take time. But when I said the chemistry would be a little weird, I didn't mean that the players are going to dislike each other. I think people understand, like, people think that I'm one of the people that says Harden doesn't get along with anyone. Like, no, that's not really that true. Chris Paul and Dwight Howard, I know, don't mess with him like that, but there's people that don't mess with Chris Paul and Dwight Howard. Trust me, I've heard a lot of things about Chris Paul. But anyway, so what I meant by the chemistry thing is when you don't have a seamless fit, what I said was the part that wasn't seamless was James Harden and Westbrook together with 2 better players that need shots and touches. When you don't have a seamless fit and everyone's trying to buy in like this, it's more so guys are not trying to step on each other's toes, and it's hard to find that blend between staying aggressive and trying to make everybody feel good. And I think that's what you're seeing. And it looks funky, man. Of course, it's the first game. Like, the overreactions were going nuts on Twitter. And I was just sitting there eating my popcorn, laughing the whole time, because at the end of the day, one thing I learned last season is, man, I cannot be tripping so much on these wins or losses about the Clippers anymore. I just got to make content and call it how I see it. So, especially after this Harden stuff, like, I was praying we didn't get him. And here we are. So, like, I got to just call it how I see it. And I thought that offensively it was just interesting because Harden was playing off the ball a good amount with Russ in the game. A lot of sitting in the corner. He set a couple of screens off the ball, sitting on the wing, of course, a lot. He set a couple of screens off the ball. Some he didn't make contact, though. I'm like, dude, come on, make some real contact, but I don't expect anything less. Anyway, I still like that he's trying a little bit. One time he even dove for an offensive rebound, like early in the game. I was like, okay, Plumber Jim. This is going to be such an insane experience, but I'm just glad you're here for the ride. Anyway, but then you see what he does on the ball, and everybody knows what James Harden when the pick and roll can do. When I saw that first pocket pass to Zoo, first of all, Brian Seaman and Mike Fratello, love him to death. They didn't even mention anything about the fact that James Harden threw a nutmeg pass as his first pass as a Clipper, if I'm not mistaken. I didn't see a replay. I don't know if it went around Mitchell Robinson's leg, but it looked like it went through his legs right to Zoo. And this man, Zoo, oh, I'm going to get into him. He has not been even as good as, nowhere near as good as the beginning of last season, actually. He takes so long to go up. It's all confidence. He has lost his confidence. James, he megged him on the pass. His first pass as a Clipper. When I saw that, because I saw when James got the ball behind the 3-point line, and he just like held the ball and he stared at Zoo and he made those eyes. The James Harden come set me a screen eyes. And I was like, oh my God, like I've watched this for so many years and this is what we have now. But James, if we're being real, he's one of the best pocket passers I've ever seen. Up there with Stockton, Chris Paul, LeBron. As those off the top of my head, the ones that I think are incredible at just the pocket pass and that pick and roll. And Zoo has to go up strong. He has to shoot that one-handed push-up with confidence. He has to dunk the fucking ball. When Zubats is aggressive, he dunks that shit. It looks like he's almost losing burst at 26, 27 years old. I don't even know what to say about it. But the point I'm trying to make is the fit when it's not seamless like that, and it's obviously not going to be seamless in game one. But like, for example, the Celtics with Drew Holiday and Kristaps Porzingis, they have like a big four of their own. Pretty seamless. Pretty seamless. And I said it was going to be good. So it doesn't take a genius to figure that out. I think the problem is defensively, you're asking a lot now of 4 guys who are like star players. And like, yeah, they want, in Paul George and Kawhi's case, they want to defend and they'd like to take on those assignments. But like everybody knows that we want Kawhi and Paul George shooting the ball the most and getting the ball towards the end of the game. And maybe needing to guard those elite players at the end of the game when it's go time. Well, we can't have them doing it the whole game. And with the switching 1 through 4 in the starting lineup with 4 star players, basically, the other team can really choose who they put in the pick and roll. And then you put him in the pick and roll with Zoo. And let's be real, like Harden, he was trying on defense. He was jogging back defensively, not walking back. I love that. And he was deferring majorly, especially when the stars were in the game. Honestly, too much, but we'll talk more about that in a sec. But the thing with his defense is he's still not a good defender. He's still not good at staying in front of guys. Like he was getting blown by easily at times. There was like 1 or 2 possessions where he stood his ground, but when someone tried to go at him, but in the point of attack, he's terrible. Like he's an amazing player. Don't get me wrong. I'm just calling it how I see it. He's not good defensively like that. He's not as bad as people think he is, like the memes used to show, but he's a good defender in the post, and he has good hands. But other than that, nah. But I do like that he was trying to be in tune with the scheme, at least in the first half. Defensively, we were pretty good in the first half. We only allowed 42 points. The score was 46-42 at halftime. And Kawhi Leonard's first couple of shots, he just came out shooting the first couple of threes that he saw. And I don't mind that with the way he shot threes this year, but bricked. And then Paul George was just flinging up shots, the first shot he got, and then Russ was trying to be aggressive. It was almost like Ty Lue told everybody, hey, guys, don't let the fact that you guys are all together stop you from being aggressive. And then, like, everyone was being aggressive except for James Harden, who didn't take a shot in the first quarter. But James Harden was, like, not even the table-setting guy all the time. I thought there's so many options that Ty Lue can run, but it's almost like there's too many options. Like, that's my thing. And it's not – you want – what I've seen from people that are talking tonight and they're right about it, there's a pecking order here. Shot distribution wise, right? But then there's a tough part about this because you tell on one hand, you say, just go out and hoop freely, just let the talent take over. And then you say there's got to be a pecking order shot distribution wise, right? It's a tough balance. You want to play a calculated game, a free game. The point is there's Harden or Russ to me just doesn't need to be on this team. That's my God's honest truth. We have to find a way to make it work otherwise. My dream scenario, I love the way Russ looks with the starters, honestly, and put Terrence Mann in there. But James Harden, he is really good in the pick and roll. I don't know if he's going to shoot like he did tonight in every single game. Obviously, he shot 6 for 9 and 2 for 4 from 3 and 3 for 3 from the line. The free throws were him getting fouled on a 3. We only had one flail moment. I don't remember a second one, but we had one flail moment in the first half. So not too much foul baiting. And one thing I'll give, James Harden hit a couple of mid-ranges in this game. And he's been doing that post D'Antoni, which I like. Especially I saw in Philly last year. If James Harden's shooting mid-ranges and not doing all the foul baiting, He's actually like, I don't dislike watching him that much. He's actually a dime dropper. Like, he's pretty good. He's good. He's a great player. I don't mind it. I don't love him, but he's good. He's got a handle, great passer. So I think he can. My issue wasn't Harden buying in. It's just my issue was this. What you're gonna see. It's gonna take time. I think it's gonna be good in the end. Don't get me wrong. There's a couple things that need to be addressed. So defensively, we have our issues, right? Julius Randle, I thought was fantastic on the Knicks side of things. Very aggressive in transition and going to the basket really strong. Finishing strong. I don't think he had much resistance, though. I mean, the biggest guys out there were Kawhi and Paul George. You go to our bench, and this is a really big issue. I was so surprised at the way Ty Lue did his rotations tonight. And now we're back to tinkering Ty. And that is another reason I did not want to make a change, because I felt as though the continuity. Oh, my goodness. Hold on one second. Golden night, my friend. We're a week away from dying rocking a Harden jersey. Now, this is where I have to say, I got to get a soundboard. Settle down, Mike Smith. No chance, bro. No chance. I don't know if he'd have to win a chip for me to go that far. But the point is, look, with or without Harden, I think we could be as good as the Lakers and the Suns and any other Western Conference team you put us in there with. But the team that we don't get better than is the Denver Nuggets, who are just a juggernaut right now, a perfect blend of talent that has developed together for years with the best player in the league and an incredibly clutch, complimentary second player with fantastic defensive guys around them in the starting lineup. It's really hard to beat that. The reason why I thought that the old Clippers could beat them even with less talent on the team per se is because I felt as though the blend would have been so solid that had we stayed healthy, taken advantage of the easy schedule, and hit a winning mentality and feeling throughout the team and maximizing everyone from the Bones Highlands to the Westbrooks to the Plumlees, I think we could have had a chance to win 54, 55 games if we had Kawhi and Paul for 60 plus. With the way the team has been playing effort-wise before tonight's second half was pretty good. It's kind of gone down the last two games, and it's not just better competition. We've been having first game against the Lakers, we did not have a lot of guys. Granted, they didn't either, but I'm not trying to make this about Lakers Clippers. I'm just saying, as from a Clipper fan's perspective, we didn't have a lot of guys against the Lakers. Bones Highland starting, that's just not ideal. And then this game, adjusting to a totally new situation. And this was as much we've never played together before. Like 5 guys just got out together at the park and started playing situation. I mean, it was as bad, maybe even worse than the first game that KD played with the Warriors, where the Spurs just absolutely destroyed them. This felt not like that because it was just a second half where the Knicks completely took over. But I mean, we were so discombobulated, man. It felt like nobody knew what they were doing out there. The starters, it was the deferring thing. And then randomly, Kawhi and Paul started just being really aggressive and just pressing to me because they know their touches are going down. And then let's talk about the rotations, right? I want to get into the substitution patterns. So James Harden was set to be on minutes restriction. He came out at 5:17 with Zoo for Bones and Plumlee. And my initial thought process there was, oh, maybe we're matching up Harden and Zoo so we can get Zoo and Harden running a lot of pick and rolls to get Zoo some easy buckets and boost his confidence. That was just my first thought. Mason Plumlee, who unfortunately, I'm going to talk about it more, went down in this game, and the game really turned when he went down. Because as bad as the Clippers were, the Knicks offense is so mid, and they were keeping us in the game. But when Plumlee went out, they completely destroyed us down low. Mason, I thought, was better than Zoo in this game. In his first half stint, he was pretty active on the glass, decent moments contesting, actually, which is pretty rare for him. And he had a really nice read on a short roll where he looked on the wing and then fed it down low to, I forget who it was, on a dime. I think it may have been Kawhi. So I actually thought he was playing pretty well. But, okay, Bones Highland and Mason Plumlee come in. I got no problem with that. And then you get James Harden after 3 minutes coming right back into the game, this time for Westbrook, and then Norm in for Kawhi. So now you had Harden, Norm, and Bones in there with Mason. Paul George really being your only good defender. And it's just, this is what we lost with Rocco and Nico. We don't have size in the front court. We have a bunch of guards that can't guard, and Ty Lue has a small ball fetish. Now we are really putting Ty in that tough position to make him look bad like last year. Whereas Before, there was really not as many options and not as many things he could do. I think it was easier to maximize a guy like Bones Highland, who I didn't like the way it looked tonight for him. It just felt he was out of rhythm. Like he's off the ball all the time. He gets 1 or 2 pick and roll reps and bringing the ball up and doing what he was doing before. It feels like, because you just have better players now. That's just how it is. And I think, but Bones Highland running that second unit, he did not have a bad game before the Laker game. Like before the trade, after the trade, it was against Orlando. But the first 4 games, he was not bad in his role. We were starting him against the Lakers. That's not ideal. And then in this game, I just don't. He's a rhythm guy too. Like he needs the ball in his hands. And like, granted, he got some chances tonight and made some horrible decisions and jump passes, but it just feels like everybody's pressing. And then you have PJ Tucker. God love him. Like, I don't know if I've shared the story. If you guys want me to share the story about why I like PJ Tucker so much, because I had a personal experience with him as a kid, you can comment if you want to hear it. But God bless PJ Tucker. But he's past it, bruh. He can't jump over a binder at this point. Like he can't. Not even a phone book, a binder. Paul George gave him a behind the back pass in transition, and this dude missed a point blank layup because bro can't get off the ground. And he's not getting any elevation on his corner 3 ball that he used to. It's just he's not the same defender. Just a complete downgrade from Rocco and Nico. A lot of Clipper fans want Kobe Brown to play. Honestly, I think he'd be a better option than PJ, and then you're developing for the future anyway. But there's a huge problem with Ty, and then even going back to Glenn Rivers with playing younger players in championship contention. And I think that's illegal. I think that's not just the Clippers. But yeah, Paul George definitely did. Paint Detective says he has worst selection in NBA. Too many tough mid-range jumpers. It's not just mid-range jumpers, man. I think it's just all jumpers in general, like threes and mid-range. I think he was very jumper happy in this game, taking the first shot that he saw because he was trying to stay aggressive. He talked about it on Podcast P. He needs to stay aggressive, but also wants to sacrifice. It felt like only if guys were open, they'd make the pass. But besides that, they would try to go. And it's just such a hard balance. Like Russ was getting going in the first quarter. He was awesome. Clippers were up 21-19 after the first. And then we had the Harden show in the second quarter. He had his best stint. I think it was 7 straight points. Really got it going. Hit that step back 3, gave us a 28-26 lead, and he was running that show. And that's what I like. I mean, that's what I know is going to be great is Harden running his own units without Russ on the floor. He's still going to find guys for great shots, no doubt about it. I just don't like that we have a bunch of minus defenders. Now we lost our guys in the front court. The rotations and the secondary rim protection with Nico and Rocco around Kawhi and Paul George, it just makes the floor look smaller. You know what I'm saying? For the other team. They cover more ground. It's just swarming. So it's tough. It's tough. The front office did what they did. Only can try to make it better now. Zubats, let's get into his performance. Zubats' hands are looking like Kwame now. He's not going up strong. We're not throwing him the ball in the post. He still has some decent moments of rim protection, but he's playing so soft. It's just all mental with him. He's not getting up off the ground quickly enough when he gets the ball. He's not playing with aggression in the sense that when he's playing aggressive, he dunks the ball. He's not following through a lot of times when he's shooting his little push shot and his jump hook. It's just, I don't know what's going on with bro, but it's got to change. It's got to change. There's no reason why this move should hurt Zubats. If anybody should be benefited by Harden more than anyone, it's Zoo. Because now you have a guy that is really going to be a dagger playmaker in pick and roll. Because the thing with Russ is, I loved our non-pick and roll heavy offense, by the way, feeding out of Kawhi and Paul in the high post, like kind of triangle stuff. Then occasional pick and rolls with Russ. But then you still had Bones Highland and Norm Powell to use screens a bit. But I liked it because we're running through our best players in Kawhi and Paul. But James Harden, what I will say is he garners the respect in the pick and roll that Russ doesn't, because teams go under the screen with Russ. Whereas Harden, you fight over the top of the screen, and he still has a fantastic floater. No one else on the team has that. Kawhi Leonard only has a floater off 2 feet. Harden can go off 1. And Paul George, I don't remember the last time he took a floater. I don't know if he's ever taken a floater in a Clipper jersey. The last time I remember it was that floater he made over Rudy Gobert against Utah back in 2019. And then Westbrook, I don't remember him taking a floater in his entire life. So that's what makes Harden the playmaker in the pick and roll that's going to help Zubats. But tonight, it just looked like everybody was all over the place. There was one point where Norman Powell and PJ Tucker just like ran into each other in the corner and got a turnover. It was such a comedy convention. So many terrible turnovers from everybody. Paul George threw this one like hook pass. Like he legit thought he was like magic. Like going back to Paul George, his reason to pick and roll tonight were horrendous. Again, there's a balance to be found with Paul. Like it's not like he should never run pick and rolls. But someone said something interesting to me tonight, said that PG, he and Kawhi shouldn't bring the ball up to initiate the offense. I kind of agree with that. Just save them the work, start them out on the wing or off the ball to begin possessions. Just to give Russ and Harden the feel of the ball. Sometimes more so with Russ. Harden may want to create a little bit more, but just with Russ, just having him feel the ball, bringing it up, that can be enough for guys. I remember when I was a kid, there were some teams where I just knew I wasn't going to be like a top player on the team and even like top 3 player, right? So all I wanted to do was at the very least just initiate the offense. Just feel like I was being involved. So like bring the ball across half court, make that first pass and just move it, distribute to better scorers than me. And that's one thing I love. Like the best teacher is playing, right? In any situation where you're talking about sports, the best teacher is playing. I've been blessed to have played on a lot of different levels and been the worst part on the court sometimes been the best part on the court. Sometimes I've been one of the best, just different situations. And that's what's awesome about playing the game. And one thing I love is just bringing the ball up and moving it. And I think sometimes maybe Russ, that'll be a thing for him, is just bringing the ball up and moving it. But even so, when you have Harden on the ball, it's just you want Harden to be more on the ball, right? Than he was tonight. Because quite frankly, he was good on the ball. He is our best playmaker now, straight up. But he's a better catch and shoot 3-point shooter than Westbrook. And you want Westbrook to feel engaged. And that's why I thought this move was weird in the first place. So when they're in together, it's just kind of clunky. You can draw some interesting plays possession by possession. I still think the Clippers got a lot of good shots, but the 22 turnovers, like, look, let's spit facts here, right? Russ and Zoo together on the court is 2 guys that are not convincing shooters, not the shooters that the defense is not going to respect. So bringing in Harden and starting him with Russ, every single possession that James Harden will run a pick and roll, that is an added possession that Russ is off the ball compared to before. And that, to me, is a win for the defense. Russ is showing that he is a capable screener, roller, off ball. He's been shooting the ball well this season from 3. I don't know how long it's going to last. He crashes the offensive glass when people don't guard him. He's really played some of the best off-ball basketball I've seen him play his entire career with the Clippers. But that being said, he's still not this great off-ball player. I like it when Westbrook's the ball in his hands because of the pace he added to our team. Let's spit facts, right? Just like with Chris Paul, Harden slowed our pace down in this game. The Knicks kind of ran us off the floor when they started creating turnovers, especially in the second half. They look more athletic. They look younger because they are. Harden's 34. You know what I'm saying? And I think Harden, again, he's trying, right? There was a couple times he caught the ball in the middle of the floor and he brought it up and made some plays in the fast break. There was one play early in the third quarter where he got an assist to Kawhi. And I thought, honestly, at that point, I thought we were still going to win the game. But continuing on these second quarter rotations, Russell Westbrook came back into the game at so this is one thing that was weird to me. Paul George and Kawhi were on the bench together and then they came in together. I thought we were going to stagger Westbrook and Harden and then Kawhi and Paul, like 2 with 2, preferably PG with Russ and then Kawhi with Harden because PG and Russ have that great chemistry. But that was not the case in this game. In the first half, though, we did stagger Westbrook and Harden. But I'm trying to see if there was a point where we didn't. The lineup's just a little all over the place, but that's a matter of time, right? Tinkering tie. It's It's going to take time, and that's part of the reason, as I said, I was not a fan of this, is now we're starting over again and having to work things out. And I love that we had that continuity from last year and we're taking the season seriously. I know it was an easy schedule. I know. But when I saw it with the Warriors in 2022, and I learned, and I've learned throughout my life watching the game, is it doesn't matter who you beat. If your process is good, guys are making shots, guys are playing at their best, confidence, that winning, it's like a drug, man. It's contagious. You want more, you start working for more, and then things can happen. I've seen it not just in basketball, in other sports. You got to take care of business. You know what I'm saying? And I felt like we had a chance to do that. But I apologize for I keep backtracking. You know what I mean? I just feel like on Locked On Clippers, I'm gonna try to not do that as much. But on my own channel, like, I'm sorry, like it's gonna take time, but it's tough. Kawhi, and so start the third quarter. Clippers up 46-42. Overall, defensively, pretty solid. Pretty solid in the first half. Guys were high effort for the most part. Even though our personnel wasn't great, guys were high effort, and the Knicks offense is just kind of stinky. Third quarter, the points went up 34-30. The Knicks won the quarter. So going into the fourth, it was a tie ball game. Tie ball game. First play, by the way, of the third quarter, we had an action that we've run in previous games with Russ as the trigger man, catching the ball on the elbow. Someone sets a pin down for Kawhi or sets a screen for a curl, and they come off and they hit him. Had that with James Harden. First, he came off the pin down. Now catches the ball 18 feet away. So, yeah, James Harden coming off screens, off the ball. Love to see it. Love to see it. Not that many. I don't want to exaggerate, but Ty Lue, man, he has a way of getting guys to buy in. But again, is this good for James Harden? Like, he didn't look like he was in his element. You know what I'm saying? I like that he bought in, but he might get frustrated at some point too. Anyway, it's going to take time. But Kawhi got a dunk out of that first possession of the quarter off the Harden assist, coming off the curl, slammed it down. No communication by the Knicks. But the second half was just a mess. A lot of turnovers, some unforced. Westbrook was reckless and careless with the ball in the second half as well. Paul George had a stinker. Kawhi was starting to get more aggressive in the third quarter, but again, it felt like he was pressing, and then Paul George was pressing. And then they all of a sudden stopped getting the ball and stopped shooting. I want to see how many shots they took in the second half. But mods, if any mods are in this live right now, can you please find out how many shots Paul George and Kawhi Leonard took in the second half, please? But starting, I'm going a little slow. I'm just trying to see the substitution patterns. Okay, so at the 5:27 mark of the third quarter, with the Clippers down by 1, Mason Plumlee and Bones, just like the first half, entered the game for Zoo and Harden. So we had Bones, Mason, Russ, P, Kawhi. Again, it's just a lot of Kawhi and Paul George guarding the best players. Granted, the Clippers are missing Terrence Mann, and he is going to be sorely needed. And also Norman Powell, he had a couple of threes in the first half, open threes from Harden and one from Kawhi, I believe. And I like that Norm, he's actually not going to be that bad to have with these guys offensively because he's very comfortable off the ball, attacking closeout and shooting open threes. But he even felt limited too to me. No curls for Norm going left to right. And then defensively, he's not great. I mean, he's trying this season, but he's still not great. And when he's surrounded by other guys that aren't great defensively, and Zoo now has to play more 2-on-1, and people are like, why isn't Zoo's impact defensively looking the same? Partially, it's because he's playing like ass, and he's in his own head right now. But another reason is mainly in this game, for example, second half, guys are getting tired. You got weak defensive personnel out there, a lot of 3-guard stuff, and he has to overcompensate in the pick and roll. But Clippers were up by 4 with 4:20 to go in the third, and then it really started to turn. James Harden entered the game for Paul George, and then Norm entered the game for Kawhi at the 149 mark, and PJ for Russ. So we took the previous big three, Westbrook, Kawhi, and Paul, all out within the last 2 minutes of the third quarter. And we had Norm, PJ, Bones, Harden, and Zoo. Disaster. You just can't be doing that. James Harden had the last 5 points of the third quarter. He was shooting really efficiently. had a step back three. It's nice to be on the side of the step back three with Harden nowadays. Um, to go into the fourth quarter tied at 76. Whew, sorry. Just thirsty, Spotify and Apple Podcast people. Fourth quarter is when it all collapsed, and it started with a really unfortunate injury to Mason Plumlee. Mason Plumlee, oh man, get well soon, brother. That did not look good. The fact that he had to be carried off the floor was really concerning. I want to see when he got subbed out in the fourth. Oh, it was the third quarter that it happened. Late third quarter. Let's see. God damn. Sorry, Apple Podcasts and Spotify people. I know it's not as unbearable for the YouTube people seeing me do this. I literally just got home from the airport, so like I haven't looked at any of this. Okay. Ivica Zubac enters the game for Mason Plumlee with 4:10 to go in the third quarter, and the Clippers are up by 2, 66-64. And if you look at the plus minus, Plumlee was actually the only player in the plus in this game for the Clippers besides Kobe Brown and Amir Coffey, who didn't actually play real minutes. So that tells you something about the way Mason was playing. I think he was just going up quicker when he got the ball and just playing more like the best version of himself than Zoo. But that was a big loss, and I'm really hoping that he's well soon because Musa, as much as I love him, he's still too raw. He's too undersized to play the 5 right now, and he's not a good enough shooter to play the 4 because he doesn't even have that good of touch around the basket. I love his activity on the offensive glass and his defense around the rim. As a help side defender, and even one-on-one, he can move his feet really well in the perimeter, but he's not good enough to play minutes on a chip team right now. I'm sorry. Seems like I've heard great things about him as a person, though. But yeah, we might be in trouble in terms of the backup big situation. We cannot play PJ Tucker at the 5. Ty Lue may try that shit. Oh my God. So look how many holes we have now to me. Like, it's just, I like the balance better than just stacking the talent. That's just my lens, but apparently I don't know ball. I'm a nerd. A nerd. That's so funny. I've never been called that in my life. A geek, a casual, whatever, bro. You guys can't disagree. It's okay. Anyway, the game collapsed. Everybody got tired. That lineup was ridiculous. Kawhi and Paul George not playing together, and Russ and Harden sitting together. I don't know what was going on. I think what it is they're trying different sample sizes. You're going to use a couple games to do it and then see what the analytics show. That might be what they're doing. But again, we're going to lose some games then. And we might – the point is, I don't think even the best version of a team like this can beat the Nuggets because the defensive personnel is not great. And then offensively, it's not seamless. So it's going to be a tough balance between being aggressive and deferring. And if you have a pecking order, how easy is it to navigate that and still play free-flowing basketball? I don't think that it's necessarily free-flowing. Our pace is not the same with Harden. Let's be real. It's not. And our defense got worse. And as great as Harden is on the ball, give me Nico and Rocco back, and Russ being the main initiator and running the offense, because you know you're going to get the attempts from Paul and Kawhi at the end of the day. That's what it comes down to with me, with the balance that we had. We knew we were going to get the attempts from Paul and Kawhi. We were asking them to be great. That's what I love. So in this game, the Clippers absolutely got blown out, and I wouldn't be in the fourth quarter. They lost it 35-21, and Ty Lue waved the white flag with like 5 minutes to go. I couldn't believe that. It felt like last season again. Disgraceful with 4 players of that caliber on a not even back-to-back situation. Let's count the minutes tonight. Paul George played 34. Kawhi played 32. Westbrook 31. Harden 31. Damn, really? That surprises me, honestly. Remember, this is the first time I'm looking at the stat sheet. Could Kawhi have played 2 or 3 more minutes? Yeah, maybe. This just seems like it's all over the place, man. Terrence, man, we need him back badly. And now with Mason out, it just feels like we need another move. Like, that's my thing. We need another move. We're a super team. We still need another move because the talent, it just doesn't. This is defense and rebounding. That's what wins championships, bro. Like, that's what wins. Asking a lot of Paul George and Kawhi defensively, then it's like, oh, yeah, that's what they can be better defensively and try harder because you have Harden now. to take the ball out of their hands. Like, is that what people want? Like, Kawhi Leonard shot 16 times, Paul George 11, Westbrook 13, Harden 9. I like that Kawhi shot the most, and he shot 50%. 18 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. But again, it felt like he was kind of pressing. 2 for 6 from 3. Paul George, at least in the first half, Paul George, 2 for 11. He shouldn't be shooting less than Russ. Russ shot efficiently, though. Harden and Russ and Kawhi all shot efficiently. But again, that's my point. Like, it's not, Westbrook, 4 turnovers. Zubac's 5 turnovers. That's inexcusable for your center to be having 5 turnovers. Are you kidding me? 22 as a team. Dante DiVincenzo, I have to mention him, by the way, was incredible in this game. Quickly added something for the Knicks. Josh Hart was awesome off the bench. Their bench was just much better than us because they can guard. Shout out to former Clipper Isaiah Hartenstein as well, who was better than Zoo. They were all over it. I just think the shot distribution, Harden only shooting 9 shots when he was actually our best player on the ball. It was weird. It just doesn't feel natural. Paul George with the weight. This was his first bad game of the season. He's been amazing in every game. And if you think that's coincidence, you're fucking delusional. It's not coincidence. He shot too many jumpers, and then he started going to the rim. I liked it, but it's just every time these guys touch the ball, they feel like, okay, I got to score because how much am I going to really get the ball? I still got to be aggressive. And then you're turning guys into spot-up shooters way more. It's just not it. There was a huge portion of the third quarter where Kawhi was just sitting in the corner. It's like, bro, he's our best player. Just don't like it. And then Paul George just feels like everything's pressed. Bones Highland, everybody just, it just feels like they're pressed. But again, it's going to take time. It's going to get better. Do not panic. We're still going to be good. Just don't think we're going to beat Denver. And I think our team was better before. Ugh, don't want to whine too much. 26 fast break points for the Knicks to 6 for the Clippers. So there you go. The rebounding, we just got crushed. No rebounds, no rings. You know how it goes. I live by that. 48-31 in favor of New York. 18 offensive rebounds to 7. Then you know what? In the second half, I'm going to say it. We got outworked second half, straight up. They were all over it. You know why? We got 4 guys. I mentioned they were trying, Westbrook, Kawhi, and Paul George in these first couple of games. Then we got Harden in there. These are 4 guys that are 34. Rocco, he was in Batum. They're all, you know what? That wasn't a good point, honestly. They're all old. But the thing is, they try harder on defense. Russ was gambling a lot tonight. It was his worst defensive game to me of the season, Westbrook. I don't think he was that good. He was reaching a lot. I like that he was efficient, but let's see what was his 3-point percentage? 1 for 3. I didn't mind that. 3 3-point attempts is fine. I said that's the max he should take for a game unless he's like hot. So I don't mind that. But Harden 2 for 4 from 3, I'll take that. PJ Tucker 0 for 2 from 3 and missed a point-blank layup. How is that possible that he missed 2 threes and the box score says 0 for 2 and he missed a point-blank layup? So ESPN's fucking up there. Mason Plumlee's stats, by the way, only 2 points and 2 rebounds, an assist and a steal on 1-for-1 shooting in 11 minutes. But I'm telling you, his impact was pretty good. Bones Highland shot as many times as James Harden. And it just felt forced with Bones to me. He had 3 turnovers himself. Norm had 3 turnovers himself. Bones had 5 points, 4 dimes, 2 for 9 from the field and 1 for 4 from 3. And then Norm, by the way, Bones Highland, very hesitant to use his left hand going to the basket. Norman Powell, speaking of left hand, no left hand, 14 points on 5 for 7 shooting and 4 for 6 from 3. So efficient, but again, I just think it takes away from him. It's just weird. Anyway, good kudos to the Knicks. 3-4 on the season. They've been struggling. It's not like the Knicks have been playing good ball, so it's not a very good loss. Clippers are 3-0 at home and 0-3 on the road, and our next game is on the road as well. Let's read the lines for the Knicks first. Emmanuel quickly had 7 points and 5 assists off the bench on 3 for 5 shooting, 1 for 3 from deep, plus 22, which was a team high for the Knicks. I thought he was really good. Isaiah Hartenstein only played 13 minutes, but was very impactful in those 13 minutes. Had a lob dunk, 6 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals on 3 for 5 shooting. Love Isaiah. Wish we could have kept him. We wanted John Wall, though. Dante DiVincenzo, talk about an impactful 16 minutes. He was all over that second half. 12 points, 6 rebounds, 2 of those being offensive rebounds. He was 4 for 6 in the field and 3 for 5 from deep. DiVincenzo. And then Quentin Grimes just 3 points, 1 for 4 from 3, and those were all his shots, but defensively he's pretty good. And then you have RJ Barrett, who's off to a fantastic start to the season. Knicks fans, if you're watching this, let me know if you think RJ Barrett has been your best player to start this season. Maybe he's making that leap. 26 points, 6 boards, 4 assists, but 5 turnovers for RJ. The Knicks turned the ball over 19 times. That's part of the reason why the Clippers were in the game for so long. Because as I said, their offense was sloppy, but they still shot 47% from the field and 39% from 3 and 94% from the line. Let's talk about Mitchell Robinson. Thought he was the best center in this game on the court. 13 points, 15 boards, just like against the Cavs last year in the playoffs. Absolutely all over the offensive glass. 9 rebounds on 6 for 10 shooting in 35 minutes. 13, 15, 4 steals, altering shots, 9 offensive rebounds is ridiculous. Good game for Mitchell Robinson. And then you had Brunson, who had a terrible shooting game, 2 for 12. 7 points, 3 rebounds, 6 assists, 3 steals, 4 turnovers. Not the best game for Brunson at all. Just missed shots. But he'll have a great game next game or something. Randall, his best game of the season. Even though he had 6 turnovers, I thought he was more in control. Really took advantage of the fact that the Clippers are puny as fuck now. 27 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists. I thought Randall was going to be a problem, one of the few guys that's going to be a problem for us even before we made the trade for Harden, but even more so now. 9 for 21 from the field, 3 for 8 from deep. And when Randall's hitting his 3-ball, I mean, he's a really good player. And 6 for 6 on the foul line. So that's the Knicks for you. The Clippers, 49% from the field shooting the ball. So we actually shot better than the Knicks, but we shot 15 less shots. Pace slower, not getting as many stops, not rebounding, and turning the ball over too much. Those are the answer to that. 34% from 3. So we didn't shoot that badly from 3, and 87.5% from the line. Harden's going to definitely help our free throw percentage. Let's read the lines for us. Not bothering to read the 2 donuts from Kobe Brown and Amir Coffee. PJ Tucker, 2 points in 11 minutes, 0 for 2 from the field. He's actually was 0 for 3 from the field because he missed 2 threes and a layup point blank. He's cooked, man. He's cooked. I love him, but he's cooked. Norman Powell, I already read his line. 14 points, 5 for 7 from the field, 4 for 6 from 3. That sounds great. Nah, didn't play well to me. Like, he was okay. It just doesn't make sense right now. Bones, forcing the issue. Too much off the ball. No initiating and doing what he was doing best in the preseason, which was playmaking and running a second unit. Mason was dope. Zubats, his stats look decent. 8 points, 7 rebounds, 1 steal and 2 blocks, and some decent moments in the third quarter of rim protection, early third quarter. But he had 5 turnovers. Actually, I think it was late third quarter when Mason went out. 5 turnovers, though, for our center is just crazy. 3 for 3 from the field, but he was ass. He was ass to me. 2 for 4 from the foul line. He has started the season shooting the ball poorly from the foul line. Then we have Russ, who had 17, 4, and 4. That's a low number of assists for Russ. No coincidence. 4 turnovers as well. That's not a coincidence. Also 4 assists. It's not just no coincidence that it's Harden. He's not taking care of the ball. Shot the ball well, though. 8 for 13. 1 for 3 from deep. No free throw attempts, though. Don't like to see that. Very little downhill Russ, which, again, has to be expected. I mean, I don't think he was that great. I'm sorry. Sorry, Russ fans. 31 minutes. By the way, something that's really funny is I have not gotten many Harden stands that's on Twitter since we got him. Maybe like 2. I think I have so many of them blocked over the years that like they don't even find me. But when we got Russ, I gained like 50 new followers. It was insane. Speaking of 13 strippers, James Harden, he was actually, in my opinion, arguably the best player. I actually felt the most secure with the ball in his hands in this game, weirdly. But again, I just don't think he necessarily makes our team that much better in the long run. Could be wrong, though, and I want to be, especially if he buys in like that, tries his best. That's all I can ask for. When he shoots mid-ranges, I got no problems with him. Houston, he was just unbearable. I actually wanted to break the TV. 17 points, 3 rebounds, 6 dimes, 1 steal, 2 turnovers, 6 for 9 shooting, 2 for 4 from 3, and 3 for 3 from the line. I've said all I need to say. Played well individually, kind of, but he doesn't guard like that. It's going to be a process, guys, and I'm interested to see it play out, and win, lose, or draw. On this channel, we're still going to have fun. Oh man, Laker fans, I will try to watch I will watch the Magic and Heat game, and we'll do I'll talk about it on basketball and Figueroa, and then maybe briefly talk about it on Dime Dropper. No promises on the Dime Dropper one. What I'm definitely going to get into it on the basketball and Figueroa thing. And then the next time I go live, I'll talk about what I'm seeing around the league because I'm just a little behind. But I'll talk about it a little bit to the live subscribers, which I'm going to right now. Thank you for listening. If you really listen to this on 50 minutes on the audio version, I really thank you because I know it's a little choppy because I'm reading the comments, trying to balance it out, reading the stats, just got off the plane. But I appreciate you for sticking till the end, and I hope that the commentary wasn't as bad as I felt like it was. So just trying to get better at all times. Remember, I'm always down for constructive criticism and feedback, always trying to get better. Peace out, ladies and gentlemen. I'll see you next time. Now to the live subscribers waiting patiently in the chat. Super chats are turned on. If you want to drop a dollar, a dime, anything counts. Peace. Okay, guys, do me a huge favor, please. It is 1:42 a.m. right now, LA. I want to answer your comments. Do not comment right now. I'm going to read your comment, but do not comment right now, please. Mods, keep saying that. All right, Navid, by the way, do you want to be a mod? You should be a mod. If you're going to be in here frequently, you should be a mod, dude. Your family. Okay. Showtime Knicks said, great win for the Knicks. By the way, 60 people at 1:43 a.m. is insane. I got the best followers in the world. Great. James Harden, thank you, buddy. Man, you're going to help me out. Great win for the Knicks. What the fuck was that Austin Reed? I didn't watch the game, bro. Uzair Khan, shout out to my guy Uzair Khan, made his vlog debut last game. By the way, check out that vlog. Sick video. James Harden, Clipper fans react to it. Got 1,000 views already. The vlogs have been dope this season. Just can't wait till my lavaliers get busted up. Or busted out. He said, I'm going to sleep, my guy. Have a good stream. Tear these spineless, heartless, all-talk divas a new one. Oh, man. I hope I didn't disappoint him being not as harsh because it's only win one game. Yes, sir. Mini Trade says, I missed the trio of Russ, Kawhi, and PG and good wings around them. Batum and Covington had good games today. Yeah, bro. I saw Nico Batum's stat line, and I see the vibe. Everyone on the Philly Twitter is like, the vibes are so high. I'm like, oh, my God. They got rid of Glenn and Plumber Jim, and now the vibes are immaculate. They have Nico, Rocco, Pat Bev, and fucking Kelly Oubre, who's playing so well right now. Maxey now gets to blossom. Embiid is Embiid. Nick Nurse is hungry. Man, and Tobias now is forced to do more in terms of being aggressive scoring, which I always think he should be. Vibes are high in Philly, and they're pretty likable. Judge Judy said, how Clips was with Harden. How do we fix the rebounding? Make a move. Because the thing is, Harden, Russ, Kawhi, and Paul are good rebounders. But it's tough. It's not ideal. How do we fix the rebounding? Mitchell just ripped our team inside. I don't think Zubats can shoulder it at all. Maybe it's because of who we started at the 4. I mean, look, when your defense is out of position, slower to get back, you're turning the ball over a lot, and you just go smaller. Because before we were running with Russ, Paul, Kawhi, and Covington, as opposed to Harden, that's more size, especially, weak side rim protection. So it's just different. It's just different having 3 wings out there. As opposed to having 2 guys that want to play point guard. Charmaine People says Harden doesn't impress me. Trinity Perrine, is that a girl? Wow, a girl in the live. That's dope. I don't feel like we have that many. Shout out to any of the females, man. We need more female representation listening. No chemistry for right now. Yeah, you're right. Charmaine People says literally no chemistry. No chemistry and literally only 2 bigs. We have Musa, Dwight, the booty bandit. We want Dwight Howard. And I have to catch up later. Zoo was so egregious, says Carrot Man. Carrot Man. Kyle says a Kawhi fan I follow says that Zoo is struggling with Butterfingers. Oh, majorly. Russ Stang, please. Stang? What do you? Oh, like not getting traded? I don't think Russ is going to get traded. Mini Trey says Russ fits perfectly with PG and Kawhi. Yeah, he does. I like that we're pushing pace, bro. I don't like that we're going to slow down. Bones was doing a good job with that with the ball in his hands, too. Since when did you start despising Harden's style? You know what's funny? I don't actually fully remember the answer to this, but I want to say it was 2017. I want to say it was when D'Antoni took over. I remember watching him play us, and he was kicking our ass, but the foul baiting was at another level. And then I saw him in the playoffs, and I was rooting for Russ. His team got dogged, though. I was really mad about that. That's so funny, man. It's crazy how it's all come full circle. If you had told me during that series and when I was a freshman in CSUN that these two are going to be on the Clippers together, and if you had told me Kawhi and Paul George in 7 years, I would have been like, bro, shut the fuck up and like go take a nose dive into the Venice canals or something. Oh my God. Yeah, 2015, he did play so much differently. Mini Trey says Harden was getting lost on defense. There was plenty of possessions where he was ball watching other players to pick up on his man. Yeah, here's the thing, right? When you're Kawhi and Paul weren't all that great defensively either as the game went on, and Russ was gambling a lot. So when your defense is out of position more and you have smaller guys that help defense, those rotations are going to be smaller guys rotating. So it's not as intimidating for the defense. And we're just playing a team too with Randall and Robinson. They have more size. Like Randall's closer to traditional power forward build than a lot of guys in the modern NBA. Kyle's take says the fourth quarter offense looked like your turn. No, the whole game looked your turn, my turn, bro. It looked like your turn, my turn, and just sets that were being ran. It's like it's just hard to build rhythm, you know? It puts a lot of pressure on Ty Lue. It's really hard. It's going to be very hard for him. I would not want to be a coach in this situation. I wonder what his real opinion was of this trade. Man, I'm really curious to hear it. We need to sign PJs. This is a problem. We traded all of them now, power forwards, I'm guessing. We have two centers just doing cardio out there. It was when he was in Phoenix, right? The moment with Tucker. Phoenix? Oh, yeah, in Phoenix. Yeah, when I was in Phoenix, yes. PJ, yeah. And the NBA expert said that PJ was the best power forward in the deal. I always thought it was either Batum or Rocco. Yeah, they're tripping sack, dude. What? Do you see Russ coming off the bench? Maybe. Maybe. It has to go really badly for him to do that. Can we get the best version of him off the bench? Then, if Harden came off the bench, because Russ and the starters have already been so good, you like have the Russ, Terrence Mann, Kawhi, like the original starting lineup, and then Harden comes off the bench and then closes our games, and sometimes Russ doesn't close. I would actually I think we could honestly be back in the championship mix. I swear to God. Then just maybe add a power forward, like trade Norman Powell or Bones. I would rather not trade Bones because he can help us in the Into a Dome era. Try to trade Norman Powell, maybe get a power forward, and then we're in business. If Harden wants to do that, but I don't know if he's willing to do that, and maybe I don't know if he should. He's really good, but I would love it if I were the coach. That's what I would do. I would try to get Harden to come off the bench and still get like 32 minutes though. Like for all the Harden sensitive people are gonna get sensitive. I just don't think. Yeah, I agree with this guy. Joker Darko. Harden has to lead the bench. It's about chemistry too. But again, you could just build the new chemistry with Harden starting. You know, because we have so much time. Like that's the one thing is there's a lot of time left. You know. One also thing I wanted to say is that there's a lot of time left for Harden and Paul. Like we got the trade done early, so we're going to be able to have all season to mess with it. It's not like we're getting it midway through the season or the same way we did with Russ last year. So that's one silver lining to look at it. All right, now we're done. Sorry, I was just adding on to the Spotify Apple Podcast part. Why did we lose tonight? Too many unforced turnovers. I agree. Facts. Russ has proven to fit well with the two stars, and Russ is a better competitor on defense than Harden, which is why I would bench Harden, not Russ. I like that point. That's good. That's well said. Yeah, Harden should come off the bench. Dude, when you talked about PG taking a floater as a Clipper, I also thought about the what he did versus Utah. He looked up. Yeah, was that a runner or a floater? Yeah, it may have been, huh? Yeah, when he looked up. Was that that may have been too close for me to consider it a floater, bro. Wasn't it just like right outside the restricted area? I think it may have only just been outside the restricted area. I think you have to be like at least in the middle of the key for it to be a floater. Or if you're coming from the wings on the block is okay. But like from the middle of the floor, right outside the restricted area, that's like a between a floater and a layup to me. It's a little too close. But you could be right. I'm nitpicking at that point. Because I was considering that one popped in my head. But yeah. Yo. What's up, Daniel Barry? Lost to Knicks. Westbrook should always initiate the offense. Lakers are bad, LOL. And let Harden initiate the bench. Facts. Harden and Westbrook is clunky. Westbrook this year and in the playoffs, defense and three-point shooting has been hella good. Yeah, what's his percentage after tonight? That's my question. We can actually calculate that. My mental math is good enough to do that. It's only been 6 games. Let's see. Rosa Westbrook. Let's go to Rosa Westbrook. You guys think this is honest question? Actually, no. Don't answer this because that would be more comments, and I don't need that right now. I still want to read. All right, let's see Russ's 3-pointers this season. Okay. 1, 4, 7, 8. He's made 8 threes out of 21. 8 divided by 21. So, yeah, I'm not that sharp with the mental math for that. 39%. No, 38%. 38% is still good. We'll take that, honestly. Keep shooting the 3-ball, Russ. Until that shit goes down, we'll take that. From the Clippers fan perspective, do you think with the Harden trade, Russ role is going to be like we've done the Lakers? This was a point by Jason. Would you agree? That's what I said. I've already said that. It's making more like what he was in the Lakers. You're right, Jermaine Peoples. How about Kobe Brown play small ball 5? No way, bro. If I remember correctly, Russ has been taking the corner 3. I was gonna say that too. I like the corner 3 a lot better for Russ than another shot. Than any other 3, I should say. The catch and shoot corner 3. I'm not a huge fan of the other ones. And I'm definitely not a fan of the on the bounce, off the bounce 3s from Russ. In the end, the Lakers are ass. Harden has to lead the bench. That's it. The 2022 Dubs taught me that confidence you gain from within, despite it being a weak schedule, can spread to the games you fight the big dogs. Absolute facts. Trinity says, at least the trade happened early. Yep, I saw that during the live, and that's why I mentioned it just now. Hey, Alexander said, let's go, D. It's not over. Never said it was. Kawhi and PG took 14 shots in the second half. Okay, that's combined. Individually, what did they take? Because to me, they should be taking 10 plus shots in the second half. Always. They played 16 minutes each, 7 for 14 combined. That sounds good. Who is likely to take over Mason's role at center? Zook can't be playing 48 minutes. PJ watched a small ball 5. Musa, unfortunately, did not look good enough tonight. It's going to have to be Musa until further notice, or they're going to go small ball 5 with PJ. Stoxinio, do you want to be a mod, by the way, bro? You're in the lives enough. You can be a mod. It's late, but here. Argus eyed said, now that Plumlee went down in Zubac' ass. Okay, let's hope that Zubac can get back on track, guys. We can be happy we got a decent stretch big in the Harden trade. Oh, wait. Yeah, that injury looked bad. Prayers for him. Do you think Ballmer made this move for the Intuit Dome? Yes, largely. Wei Bin Lim says, business side of things, we have a chance to re-sign 1 through 4 stars going into next year. I'm sure either of these things will help us sell tickets. I get it, bro, but like, fuck that, man. I'm not about it. If this is going to flame out again, do we have a choice? We've so fucking sold our souls. I feel like we just let PG and Kawhi hijack this organization. Briefly talk about the rest of the league from what you saw after you end the audio. Let's read the comments, and maybe I'll do that if you guys are still on. I want to hear you talk about your boy Chris. Paul? I'll talk about him. I've only watched the first 3 games, though. 4 games, actually. I might have asked this in the past, but are you watching Chris Paul when he was in New Orleans? I mean, you did say you could write a book about him, and there are other players that you think you could write a book on. I know LeBron. What do you mean by watch him? I watched him on national TV, and I watched all his playoff games for the most part. But nah, it wasn't the same. I watched, and he wasn't on national TV that much, the Hornets. They were not on national TV that much. I watched him in the playoffs, All-Star game, but it was totally different watching him every night. But I still watched him. Damn, I was late. I have to rewatch tomorrow morning. Damn. When I turned that game on, immediately saw Dante fly for an offensive rebound and hit a 3 after that and got a Mike Ring bang call. Yo, I was so tempted to listen to the broadcast with Clyde and Mike, but I was like, man, it is James Harden's debut, and I got to give Brian the listen, because I've also met Brian. He's a great guy, and it's a big moment for him, because it's whether or not this works, it's James Harden's debut with the Clippers, and that's a big deal. It's a super team, Clippers debut. It's a big deal at the Mecca. Are you kidding me? When I turned that game on, immediately saw Dante fly for an offensive rebound and hit a 3 after that, and got a Mike Ring bang call. Brought memories from when he was with us. Really loved Dante. Yeah, but he didn't really hit shots in the playoffs last year, though, for the Warriors, did he? Did Diamond talk about the Primo signing? No, I didn't. And I have nothing to say about it. I don't think he's going to be involved at all. Not going to lie, Seaman is one of my favorite commentators, alongside the OKC commentator. What's his name? Chris Fisher? Shout out to former Clipper Michael Cage. By the way, I've been checking out the Thunder. Chet Holmgren looks awesome protecting the rim and in drop coverage. He looks sick, and his ability to put the ball on the floor and stretch the floor gives them a lot of options offensively, and SGA is a stud. I mean, I forget where I ranked them. Check out my preview, by the way. I timestamped it all, but I haven't been the plan. Remember that. And higher than 10. They were like 8 or 9. Navid says, watch the Cavs when you get a chance. Oh, yes. Okay, now you can comment again, guys. All right. Comments are good. Throw them in. 53 seconds. Good job, guys. That was good listening. Watch the Cavs when you get a chance. It's going to be number one defense 2 seasons running. The thing is, Navid, I'll watch the Cavs when they play other teams that I'm trying to watch, but it's not that I don't like watching the Cavs because I love Evan Mobley, but you guys didn't really change that much. You picked up Max Strus and George Niang. Like, that's not going to, like, I only have so much time in the world, I'm a busy guy. So I'll watch you when you play other East Coast teams, but we'll watch you in the playoffs and you're going to make it again. I have the Cavs ranked. I had them ranked third, but now Philly is definitely top 3. And by the way, I watched the first Milwaukee game, and then I watched the all possessions version of the second game where they got fucked in the ass by the Hawks. And then the third game, I watched them the full game against Miami. By the way, Marcus Johnson, who is going to be a future Dime Dropper guest, is so great on the call. Like, he has so much knowledge of the game, past and present. And he's just got that good voice for it. Like, if you guys have a chance, and by the way, Lisa Byington, I previously said that I have a tough time listening to female play-by-play announcers. I think they're great as color commentators, like Doris Burke does and like Sarah Kustok does. But play-by-play is it's just awkward hearing a high-pitched voice as a play-by-play person. As someone, like, it's never been, this is a new thing, right? This is brand new, is that women are doing play-by-play. But Lisa Byington from Milwaukee does a pretty good job. She's growing on me. So that combo, and seem like they have a pretty good rapport. Marcus, though, he's a beast, dude. He's a beast. And by the way, if you want to check out what Marcus's grandson, my boy Will, said on this podcast, one of my favorites, my first Dime Dropper featuring. Check that out on the playlist. He played with Peyton Pritchard, Bol, Troy Brown at Oregon, and being a part of a Pac-12 championship team. And he was the reason that actually I got into the history of the game stuff, because he started doing some history stuff. And he's actually one of the biggest reasons I don't like James Harden, funny enough, because I was just talking to him about this today. He was so when I was in college during Harden's prime, I tried to incorporate the tween cross, lull your defender to sleep. If he doesn't reach, blow by on that next one, going to, for me, my right, because I'm a right-handed player, but you can hit him with that cross too, right? Which Harden, he's got a good, nice, quick cross from right to left. Actually, both ways, to be honest. And the only issue with that, and then the step back if they're backing off too much, because a lot of times when you're hitting the tween cross, guys will back. If you're a quick player, guys will back up, and that's what they do with Harden back in the day. So they would hit that 3 ball. He would just hit the sidestep thing, the legal one, not the extra step bullshit he brought into the game, but just the pullback 3. So and the legal step back, but I started doing it, and it was actually fairly effective. But you're just wasting a lot of energy and dribbles. And Will pointed that out to me. He was like, just wasting dribbles, Dime. And I remember when I used to train with Olin Simplis, the guard whisperer, SGA's trainer, when I went to his clinics in like the peak of my like hooping development, like 13, 12, 14 years old, we used to do one-on-one drills, and it would always be 3 dribble limit, like to practice getting into your moves quick, being efficient with your movement, not wasting dribbles, going north to south instead of east and west, and playing in tight spaces. And I think partially, some guys get away with the fact that the modern NBA, and I think it totally maximized Harden, especially in a D'Antoni system, having that much spacing. You know what I'm saying? He dribbles so much. And I still think it caught up to him a lot in the playoffs over the years, like so much. So like that's my appreciation for Jordan went up so much after that, because Will pointed it out to me and I was like, you're fucking right, dude. Because Will's really good at not wasting motion at all. So when I see, that's why I like Devin Booker so much. He doesn't waste any dribbles. KD's also fantastic as well. But Kobe and Jordan are another level, especially Jordan. He does not waste a step. Everything is calculated and it's so fluid. He's the most fluid moving basketball player I've ever seen in my entire life. Off and on ball and in the air. My appreciation for him really went up as I got older, because he started. It's crazy how like there's so many more like I'm not gonna say there's so many more high flyers than then, because I didn't grow up then. I would assume there is, but I'm not gonna assume. There's more high flyers in the 2000s, even though we had a lot of high flyers in the 2000s, to be honest. But there's probably more high flyers now, because I think guys are drafted on athleticism and size more to try to be developed into good players. But even with all these athletic guards and shit, like Jalen Green and the Ant-Man, the way Mike moves in like just all facets, like it's unmatched to me. It's unmatched. And I'm a kid that it's 25 and I haven't even watched that many full Jordan games, but I can't wait to do it because man, it's exciting. Anyway, let's see. Oh, I was gonna say about the Bucks. They're exactly what I expected them to be. Dame is a sniper at the end of games. He makes them better closing. Middleton still doesn't look 100%, and they can't guard the same way. You're asking too much of Giannis defensively. Crowder's not what he was in 2021. It's just. And then the Celtics, who I've watched a little bit of, are just flying. I think they lost a game. Did they lose a game tonight? Let me check. They were undefeated. Oh, yeah, I lost to Minnesota in overtime. Okay, you lost one road game to a solid team that's going to make the play-in, in my opinion, in overtime. That's not a terrible loss. I mean, you lose eventually, right? Like, they're what, 6-1 or 5-1? Let's see. 5-1. I mean, they're fine. Please just trade Russ. He's already being scapegoated. Okay, relax. Really? No more comments on Alexander. End of the night. Enjoy the rest. Why did they give up? I missed the game, but it was close and they subbed everyone out. Ask Ty Lue. What happened to that flip guy we got in the trade? Got waived. Then we can get rid of Zoo. I mean, of course I can try to trade him. Dante was kind of trash shooting in the playoffs, but he gave me great memories from what was a depressing regular season last year. Fair enough. Kobe Brown must be playing small ball 5. Nah, bro, he's too small. He's a rookie. Do you see Norman Powell getting moved to the trade deadline for a power forward? Yes. Very well could. Do you think we can make moves like moving Zoo and Norm for something better? Yes, I think we could. I just think it's hilarious that we got to make more moves after having a super team of 4 stars when we had a very balanced team that maybe lacked one power forward. People just don't like Russ. Like, let's be honest with you with this shit. People just don't fucking think Russ is that good. I disagree. What I like is that it put the onus on our 2 best players, which was initially the plan before we got Russ. What I don't understand is Clipper fans did the biggest 180 going from, we have enough. All we need is Kawhi and Paul to stay healthy. And then all of a sudden, within 2 months of no basketball being played, we're not good enough. We were good enough when we had Reggie, apparently, starting at point guard before last season. We had optimism that we could win it all. But now with Westbrook, we're not. For people that say, what we would have closed with, Kawhi, Paul, Terrence Mann, and you can choose between Russ, Zoo, Mason, Norm, and Nico and Rocco. Those 6. We could choose between those 6, 2 of them, on any given night. That was the plan. What power forward? Jeremy Grant, because I think that eventually the Blazers will tank. Kyle's take says, man, this year's start to the regular season just reminded me how badly we started the regular season last year. We won 11 road games last year. Let me talk about the Warriors real quick. Bro, I think Chris Paul is great for the second unit, but he's such a weird fit with this team. Like, he slows the pace down massively. And again, he's trying, but he's not very good at the point of attack. He's amazing in pick and roll still, but he just sits in the corner when Steph's in the game. And Steve Kerr's being very strategic. In the New Orleans game, he tried to not play Draymond and Chris together too much. And when Chris is in the game without Draymond, you'll have Chris being the initiator a lot more. But when Draymond's in, you'll have Steph with the ball in his hands and pick and roll, and Chris off the ball. So, because Chris, you like him with vertical threats, guys like Kuminga. And by the way, I didn't realize before I watched the New Orleans game that they didn't even have Brandon Ingram. So, I mean, I know they were missing Clay and Kuminga, but the Warriors are a little better than the Pelicans, but missing Brandon Ingram is too big of a loss to me for the Pels. But yeah, I thought that the Warriors played well in that game. Steph is just on a heater to start the year. Like, let's be real. It's about the Steph Curry show. He is fucking cooking. He is cooking. But also, those first 4 games don't show me much. Loss to the Suns. Beat the Kings game was impressive, but that was a lot about Steph Curry being great. Chris Paul had a good quarter. The Rockets, they're an improving team and they're starting to play better. I can't wait to watch the wins. I've only watched the losses, but I can't wait to watch the wins. But the Rockets and the losses, they're just playing against solid teams, to be real. And the Warriors should beat Houston. And it was still a tight game. Fred VanVleet shot terribly. But I'm interested to see the Warriors game against the Thunder in the in-season tournament. I'm very interested to see that one. And then the game that they played against the Kings, the other one that they won. Did they play tonight? Let's see. Yeah, they played the Pistons. What's the Pistons? They're 6-2. I mean, it's a great 5-1 on the road. That's amazing that they're 5-1 on the road. It's just Steph Curry. It's not a heater to start the year. I mean, I think Chris Paul, he's he's trying his best, but again, at the end of the day, whether the team has improved, and it has, because Chris Paul is awesome in the pick and roll, and he's going to be better than Jordan Poole was in that sense of taking care of the ball. That's really been an improvement for the Warriors, and that was why they made the move. But it doesn't beat Denver. That's the main. It does not beat Denver. It's very hard when you have the best player in the league with a great situation and a team that fits him. And that's what Kobe had. That's what LeBron had. And that's what Jordan had. And there you go. That's it for me tonight, guys. Do I think Steph is the second or third best player? Right now, he looks like the second best player. I think he looks better than Giannis so far this season, but I'm not going to switch up in the beginning of the season. Got to stick with my pick. Giannis second. Daniel Gafford. Don't give me Daniel Gafford, bro. Daniel Gafford he's not special defensively either. He's just a good rim roller. Like, let's be real. He's just a good rim roller. A lob threat. He might help with he's not a starting center in a chip team. All right, you're getting it's too early. All right, guys. That's it for me tonight because I got to do Locked On Clippers and it's 2:07 in the morning. You guys are amazing for being here. 55 people. Please comment on the video when I get off. Please. Let's see at least 20 comments. There's 55 people in here. Comment what you thought of the game. Peace out and have a great night.